Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. I'm stood here next to my Crimson Crush tomatoes. I mean, look at these, ridiculous, but you know, this is what I wanted. I've now taken them off the heat of the propagator. They've been in these trays for 2 days, just in the greenhouse, and all that's in this heat house to heat it is, I don't know if you can see it, is this little frost heater behind me. That just keeps the frost off the greenhouse, and these have been fine and they're happily growing on. And tomorrow I'm taking them down the allotment and I'll do another video then to show you where I'm putting them and why I think I can protect them well enough down there. So now that these are moved on, I've also potted on some others about a week ago, my Eildie, and I'll show you those in just a minute. And I've got backups coming, so if we get a severe frost or some bad weather or something appalling happens to these down at the polytunnel, I've got backup, and I've got more backup plants to back them up. And that was all in my tomato strategy video about 4 or 5 days ago. But I'll take these down tomorrow and you can see where and how I'm protecting them and looking after them down there to encourage them to keep growing. Now the reason I've sown these early is because I want the side shoots off these and I want to grow tomato plants for free, and that's particularly pertinent this year because I've got the new tunnel coming up, which will be starting very soon. I'll have plenty of indoor space to grow tomatoes, so the more I've got this year the better. And yeah, that's it really. So I'll just keep the tomato plants and the harvest coming. I'll show you the rest of this propagator now whilst we're in here. So looking at the rest of the propagator, I've got my pepper plants here in the corner. There's about 10 of them, I think, 9 maybe. Now the hot weather plants, the warmer weather plants, the more tender plants like my sweet corn, they're all coming through. The beans are mostly coming through. And that includes the butter bean at the back from John, and then the next line are the gigants from Pauline, and then 2 varieties I've sown. One of them not doing so well here, the Cobra, yet to come through, or just starting there. So we've got those coming through. These cucumbers the other day, people were getting a little bit upset or saying they couldn't do it, but this is where I was taking plants out. I'd planted 2 in each module, and as they germinated I took them out. These are now doing remarkably well, and as you can see from underneath, these are ready for potting on, and I've got pots ready to do that, and they'll be done soon. Now my aubergines failed at the start of the year, so I quickly ordered some grafted ones because I knew I didn't have time to resow and grow a decent plant and get a harvest. So I've gone for the grafted ones. First time I've ever tried these, and I got these from the place. I went and looked it up on Tony C. Smith's page, and this is where he got his from last year. So if they fail, I can blame Tony, which is brilliant. But there we go. And just next to them here, these are the backup tomatoes, Ailsa Craig and Gardener's Delight. And these are, I've already potted some of these on, and these are down here. You can see the Ailsa Craig and then the Gardener's Delight. These are my Eildies over here. These are nice little sort of orangey yellow tomatoes, and you get anywhere between 60 and 80 little fruits on every truss. Now that's just fabulous. So they're coming along and they'll be growing in the tunnel with the Crimson Crush. Down here we've got cucumbers. And again, sorry, not cucumbers, courgettes. And again, there's 2 in each cell here, so some of these will need pulling. Give them a few days to grow up. And it's the same with this over here. I've got melon, and this is Hale's Best. Again, 2 in each cell, so some of them will need pulling. Waltham butternut squash over here. And there's some scabious and some larkspur that have done absolutely nothing. So I should just leave those. And that's pretty much it really. I've got some celeriac and some flowers over here, and then these massive Crimson Crush tomatoes. So I filmed, there's 2 little bits of film yesterday evening because I knew I was bringing these down today and fetching them down into the tunnel, and I just thought it would be helpful for people to see how I store my tomatoes away and how I keep them going until they're planted, and you know, and the weather's a lot warmer up and the protection from them is gone. We'll take it in there now and we can have a look. So this is one of my big hot boxes, and this is where the tomatoes are going for now. You can see I've already fetched them in and they're inside, and there's a great big panel there with a couple of bolts through, and they just bolt onto that frame, and there's a wing nut inside. On the top there's a lid that I can just lift off. The lid is loose, so it's easy to get access for water in. There we go, and that's that. And now I'll just show you a bit closer up, and I'm going to show you in here. I'm going to clear all the rubbish off the top of that one, and then there's something inside which I want you to see, which I'll just clear it off and show you. So both of these hot boxes sit sort of central in the polytunnel, so it's right away from the edges where frost or colder weather might get to, and it's such a big volume of air in here that I believe that it takes a long time to cool down, even on the coldest evenings. It does cool down eventually, but then you've got the hot box there, which has also done the same thing. A large volume of air in there that's heated up through the day fairly quickly. Anyone who's got a polytunnel knows that the sun only has to come out for 5 minutes, and polytunnels with closed doors are unbearable to be in. They get so hot. So that's the sort of action that's going on, and I believe it also heats up the soil, and that permeates through the night as well. So they're in the middle of the polytunnel, they're well away from the edges, and the lids are on. Now you can see, I mean, I cleared all the weeds in this tunnel a couple of months back now, but you can see I've got some weed growth down and around here. Nothing too disastrous that I can't clear within 20 minutes. But if we look in here, this was also cleared. These weeds in here are nearly 2 foot tall, and that's the benefit of this tunnel. The other one where I put the tomatoes, I already cleared a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago, because I knew I was getting close to bringing them down. But just look at that. That's phenomenal growth in there, and that is due to the heat in here. So that's how I know that with my tomatoes, even at this colder time of year, with my tomatoes in one of these plants are going to continue to thrive. And in fact, what I'm going to be doing this week at some stage is I'll pot these tomatoes on, and they'll carry on growing, and within 2 to 3 weeks they'll be up as tall as this, so a good 3.5 foot tall, with good roots, raring to go. And I generally find that in mid-May I've got flowers on and I've got fruit set. So this is why, you know, why I like to get them going early, because I know I can support them. And with my season being that much shorter, I lose 3 weeks at the start and 3 weeks at the end. This tunnel gives me that time back and more in spades. So there we go, there's a little guide to it, and proof, if you like, of how it works and why it works for me. So I got to this position with a bit of trial and error really over the years. Before I ever built these things, I brought plants down, put them in a corner, surrounded by boxes to protect against the frost, and it works to a degree, but I've still lost plants in the past. And I tried just putting fleece over or plastic sheets, and again, they work to a degree, but on a really cold year, you can still lose the plants. This, so far, I found this foolproof, and I did have a smaller one, which is over there, which I'd used previous couple of years before these, because I think I only built them last year. Was it last year or the year before? Can't remember which. I think it was last year, but I've had that one for a number of years, and all my tomatoes used to go in that. But now I've got these, I can grow more and protect more plants. So that's just my handy little guide, that with the tomato strategy I've got at home. If anything happens to them, I've got more plants that are already growing. They're already sort of this tall. In a couple of weeks, they'll be up the size of those Crimson Crush. And then I've got more plants behind that should I need them. And you know, in essence, it's cost me a couple of quid in seeds. It's no big deal. And you know, a couple of quid in compost, and if I need to, that'll all just get recycled back into the compost heap. So I'm not really losing anything. I'm just a little bit of effort and a little bit of thought behind it, and that protects me and hopefully my bumper tomato crop this year. So we'll see how we get on. Anyway, that's it for this one. Look after yourselves, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra now.